Say hi. Hi. Boy, get down. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Rusty Beauties Restorations. In the Rusty Beauties shop, as you know, we are restoring the 1966 GT6. And in the last episode, we've done a little bit of structural repair of the bonnet because it was very flimsy. So, sort of speech, we repaired the bones of the bonnet so we can install it back on the car and make it stable so we can adjust it and then position the fenders properly. And I also went ahead and I've done a little bit more work, but I couldn't fit all the footage in the last video, so I left it for this one. So let me show you what I've done after the last episode finished, and we're gonna continue from there. All right, so I was able to put it myself and it landed right where it belongs. Now it's time to find the hinge bolts, and that's what came off, but I don't know if these are the bolts actually, because I remember there was something wrong. Anyways, let me clean them up and we will see. All right, so turns out this is the original hardware, even though, I don't know, I remember when I took it apart something was wrong. I think one side was held by a nail, or was that another car? Turns out I have the hardware here, and the only thing I was missing was two washers because there were 4 per side and 2 of them are thicker. I'll show you now how it goes. So we have the bolt and of course a washer on the outside, then inside between the tube and the mounting bracket here there is a spacer. Then inside the tube we have this spacer, this sleeve, and then we have another washer, thick one, and then on the outside we have another washer. So that's gonna be tricky to put on, but let's see. So the other side is sticking out now. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, that's one side. Whole car is moving. Sorry. Look. My garage floor is slanted, so the whole car is moving. So let's see now how we're gonna put the second washer. The second spacer, I should call it. Let's put this here for now from the other side. Okay. I need some more hands. Not only it came off, but I also lost it. Alright guys, you're gonna see that when it's done. I can't, like, you're in my way right now. Alright, that was fun. But I have them in both sides. I actually found the original washer because I only had 2 of the thick washers. I found one in my hardware and I was gonna go for one side with one thick and one thin, but I found the original washer under there. So when I was taking it apart, or when somebody else was taking it apart, it fell down there, so I found it. I didn't clean it, but I put it there. So anyways, they are on, and I tightened them in pretty much center position, because you can see from here you can adjust them upper and lower, and this one too. is somewhere in the middle position, but when I look at it now, this gap here is non-existent actually. On the other side it's better, but here it is not. See here, it is better. Now I have to drop the locating cone a little bit, or push it, tighten it up a little so it can allow it to go down. But this also, I need to put the fender, so because that also affects it. You see, when I bend this bracket, this affects here. So there's so many adjustments on this thing that it's crazy. Like you can adjust it up and down from there. Also the bracket that holds the hinge can be adjusted in this orientation, so we can go forward or backwards, and that's actually what I think needs to happen here. This one needs to come forward because you see it's entirely out of the overrider, when this one is partially hidden inside. So I think this one needs to come out, so that gap is going to be fixed. But that's not the only adjustment. Imagine you can adjust it from here as well. This is the only bracket that's welded to the bar, but the hole is oval, so you can go up and down from here. From here you can adjust it up and down, but also the bracket on the bar has an oval hole which can go this way. So there's so many adjustments from here, so we need to make sure that it's not twisted. Maybe I should remove the other fender as well and make sure that everything falls in place, and then put fenders on, because it's possible that we can put it in twisted, or it might be under tension and some way it might pucker. But anyways, I think it needs to go down. The front end probably needs to go down, and this needs to come out, because also look at this gap. Like here we have a huge gap, there we have a huge gap, so I guess it needs to come down. But I think at this point I should remove the bumper and start dealing also with the lower valance, so we can adjust this gap, we can adjust the gap in front of the windshield, we can adjust the fenders and everything. Like at this point all the gaps need to be aligned. So yeah, let me deal with that. Let's see how easy it is gonna be to remove the bumper. I'm sure the bolts are rusted. Well, I actually lowered it. Now it is as low as possible here. This side naturally wants to stay at this height, not all the way down, but by lowering it, this gap opened and now it is nice. So anyway, we need to put the door as well, and like we need to have everything on except the bumper, so we can adjust everything at the same time. But anyways, I never tried to see how sturdy it is now to open, so let's see. Look at that. There's no before. It was, as soon as you opened it was going dropping down. And all right, that was actually easier than expected, but both overriders are distorted, I should say. So this one is twisted. You see here there's this kink in it. The other one, this one looks better shape wise, but it also has a kink here, and it has, the bolt was obviously too long and it hit and it pushed out here, so too bad. But anyways, the bumper itself also, look at this and this. So I don't know what happened to this car. Was it an accident or what it was? But the valance doesn't look too bad. Oh, actually, it's been pushed up here. So looks like we have to take it out completely and straighten it and see. I think it has a big problem somewhere there because it has fiberglass inside. So let's keep stripping it. All right, so much for the easier than expected. I removed the bracket here that supports the bumper, this one. The other one is still in place, you see that it's sticking over there. But unfortunately, these bolts were impossible to take out. They snapped, both of them. Like you see, they are like really bad. Yeah, doesn't matter. We're gonna drill them and we're gonna put new bolts there. I'm expecting the other two are gonna fall apart, are gonna snap too. And when you look at it, they are like eaten by the rust a lot. So they were thinned already, so there was no way that I could take them out without snapping them, even if I use WD-40 or heat or whatever. So I'm just gonna snap the other two and then we're gonna try to take out the valance. Well, this side of course snapped too, both bolts, but now I can't take it out because if you see there, the bolt is too long and it won't come out. So anyways, I'm gonna have to remove the valance and this is gonna come off, but it's loose now. So to remove the valance, it's held here and here by these two bolts and it's held over there. And I remember these were really tricky to put nuts underneath. I think they're captive nuts underneath, but I remember on my Spitfire I had troubles because I didn't have the captive nuts, so I put regular nuts. But as you can see, there's no access there, so it was tricky. So hopefully here the captive nuts survive. All right, so here we don't have much success either. So this one snapped. This one is the only one that came off in one piece here. And these two, they just spin. And the captive nuts that are underneath just came loose and they do nothing. But I can't really see it there. Maybe you can. I don't know. Do you see what's there? Is that a nut? Oh, it's a square. Oh, okay. So that might be half-inch square. Yep. Okay. Thank you guys. You helped. Okay. That's what it was. Half-inch square. So I was able to take it off. The other one I'm not gonna bother with. I just twisted the bracket so it can come out. And we're gonna deal with it when the valance comes out. So this side is free. Let's take out the other one. You see here, rivets and fiberglass. That's what I'm talking about. We had a better luck with this side actually. All the hardware came off. This one came off. These came off normally, and you see what I'm talking about here. The captive nuts. Like they're not captive nuts, they're like... Watch it, it's gonna fall. Yeah, they're not captive nuts, they're like little clips with nuts on them. But anyways, we're gonna have to get two of them for the other side. So let's take a look at the inside of this valance. Well, okay. All right, I don't know. I don't wanna jinx it, but I think it looks better than what I expected. Looks like the brackets that hold this rusted out and released from the outer metal, but I don't know. The outer metal looks like that's body filler here, so probably the outer metal is rusted too, but that's fine. We're gonna fix it. Here we need to straighten it. You see how it is mangled. That side is better, so let's straighten it first, I guess, and then we're gonna strip everything to see what the real situation is. All right, so here I guess we can just use the table to try and straighten this. Okay. It requires a little bit more, but let's first clean it up and see what the damage is here. Really? I barely even touched it. I guess I'm gonna have to strip the whole entire valance here from paint to make sure that there's no other areas like this, and I'll bring you back. Whew. That's taking forever because I'm using the wire wheel to clean the corners here. So for the flat areas I'm gonna use this wheel, which is fantastic for removing paint, but if it touches the edge of the sheet metal, it goes kaboom, like it goes really fast. That's why we're gonna do only the flat surfaces, and I clean the edges with the wire wheel. I also tried to clean it inside as much as I could, but it's hard to reach in these corners. I'm using one of these and this one. Anyways, I haven't stripped this yet, and this side I wanted to do that together with you. Let's review what's hidden here. Nothing surprising. Okay, let's change the wheel now. Okay, let's see if we can take this apart. Alright, so to repair this part here, it's not very easy because we have compound curves here. So this entire panel here has a shape. Obviously it has a shape this way, it has a shape a little bit this way, and when we make this bend, it is not a straight line, it's also a little bit curved, and then this bend here is also a little bit curved. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a bend at this level. Okay, maybe a little bit lower than this, maybe like this. We're gonna bend it, and after that with the shrinker we're gonna shrink it to make this curve of the bend. The other part we're gonna stretch, we'll see, either on the English wheel or maybe on the planishing hammer, we will see. And this other bend after that, this little one here, maybe we're gonna do by hand. We'll think about it later. So let me bend this a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna go that far. We need to go that far, right? So you know what, let me get rid of the flange here. I'm gonna get rid of this little flange so I can fit my piece inside better and match it with everything, and then we're gonna deal with this flange later. That was too much. I went too far, guys, I went too far. Okay, we're gonna keep this piece for the other side. I'm gonna make another one that's a little bit wider than this. Okay, that's better now. It fits right between those cuts. So now we can go on the stretcher, no, on the shrinker, and bend this to match this curve. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Now it doesn't lay flat, of course, because of this shape here, but I think this curve now matches this curve, which is perfect. So now let's give this a little bit of shape. What do you think? Should we do English wheel or planishing hammer? I say planishing hammer. My die with the lowest crown is this one. I think this one was lower, but I turned it on the lathe and I made it flat, because sometimes we need flat die too. So we're gonna use this one, and we're gonna be really gentle because it happens really fast. So there you go. You see, it already has the shape. So let me check how it matches, and then we're gonna come in with the flat die. We can make it a little bit more if we have to. Okay, it needs more. Okay, I think that's good. Now with the flat die, it still stretches and it still makes it curve. So I left it a little bit lower now. So I left it a little bit lower than what it requires. So now we're gonna do it, but the flat die stretches this way. So if I go this way now, it's gonna make it flat again, and then it's gonna start curving it this way. That's why we're gonna continue in the same orientation. It happens much slower though than the crowned one. But we need the flat die now so we can planish it smooth again, because now all these are high spots. Okay, so we took some shape, but obviously it still requires more, and it's only so much that we can do on the planishing hammer. So now we need to stretch more in the center, because now you see it, if I push it down here, it opens there, if I push it down there, it opens here, etc, etc. So we need the entire center to be stretched a little bit more. Maybe we can focus on this area, and hopefully that's gonna work. But we're gonna do that on the English wheel. I'm gonna try with very small pressure. I'm gonna go in both directions. Okay, I'll go and check if we're doing anything. It requires a lot more, so I'm gonna increase the pressure a little bit. Okay, we are almost there. But now you see, in this orientation only, it's rocking this way, you see? But this side looks good, and if we flip it, this side looks good. Maybe I need to twist it by hand. Let's try that. Maybe if I try to bend it this way. Actually much better now. That looks pretty good. So, you know what, let's cut it around. I think I'm gonna cut this a little bit smaller though. I don't wanna go that high. I only wanna replace it up to here somewhere. Okay, so let's cut it here. And here I'm gonna cut it a little bit in. I can. And here too. I just want to get rid of the edges of this thing because most of the shape is happening here and the ends are not really well shaped, I think. So let me cut it down and try again. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so let's cut this out now so we can position this properly, fit them as best as we can, and then we're gonna mark where to bend this other flange. Now when it drops down, it's gonna drop down, so it's gonna need to go deeper, but on the sides it's gonna be that much. Okay, that's not too bad. We'll have to clean this corner, but at least now here we can mark our flange here and here, like this. Right, so it has a very, very slight curve, but it's a curve, so we can do it on the break. So I'm gonna start it very gently with my pliers. And I think from here I can do it on the vise. I think that's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm just gonna clean up the burr from here now. I'm gonna clean up the corner so it can fit properly, and then we can weld it. I'm gonna start tacking it from the corners here. This gap is a little bit too big, but it's fine. Okay, and now here, since we have the possibility to put a dolly underneath, I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grind these tacks and we're gonna planish it. So we make everything like really, really smooth, because here now I feel this is a little bit higher than this. Here is the opposite. So I welded it only where it was perfectly lining up, and now everything else is not lining up. So let's grind these and planish it. All right, I can clearly see that it worked, but that's nothing unexpected. I was expecting that, even though you see I cool it down all the time and it still warps. So I'm gonna grind it. Maybe I will need to cut this open again because I didn't notice that the warpage did this and closed this gap. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this again, pull it out, and weld it again. That's what I'm talking about. Let me weld it again. I see 2 pinholes here. I'm gonna weld this, then I'm gonna grind it, and we're gonna go. We can planish this on the planishing hammer actually. Wow, you see how bad it worked? That's really bad here, but let's see if we can planish it out. So I also ground the back of the weld. Since we're gonna be planishing, I need to put a dolly there, so I made the weld a little bit flatter. I can't put the panel in any way on the vise or anything. I'm gonna try like this to work on my knees. We're gonna try with the slapper, and if that doesn't work, we're gonna go on the planishing hammer, on the pneumatic one. That works like a charm. I wish I had a better dolly, but this one is curved only one side. I have another one somewhere, but I lost it. I think it's in the B-post of the car. So when we flip the car upside down, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna find it there. Anyways, I have to work with this one now. Such a weird shape, this panel. Okay, what about this? Oh, like I can't. So, because I don't have a proper dolly, and because the surface in the back is not even, because of the weld and everything, I'm trying to put my hammer in the low spot. Like I see here, there's a low spot. So, I'm gonna try to put it right there. And then with the slapper, I should be able to bring that low spot up. This weld here now becomes a high spot. It was deep down there, now it came up, so I'm gonna grind a little bit more, and then we're gonna keep slapping it. No, that's not too bad. Actually, I'm really happy with it. So, you see guys, with a lot of grinding and planishing and grinding again and planishing again, you can do invisible seams. I've always wondered why I can't make them invisible. When I line them up, I line the 2 pieces of metal perfectly, I weld them, and then it warps, and then it goes to hell, and then I can't even grind it properly. When you planish it, the weld comes up, you can grind it, then you planish more, it comes up, but it's still higher than the 2 layers of metal. And anyways, so that's it. I think all these channels where they show you welding, grinding, and oh, look at this, invisible, I think all of them, they go through this entire process of planishing and grinding and planishing more and grinding more until they get to this point. I've been watching videos to see what people do, and honestly there's not many people who actually tell you what their secret is. I'm pretty sure they go through the same process, but all they show you is this. Okay, it's not too bad. Well, yeah, they don't show you the entire process, I promise you. Whose videos I appreciated the most, it was the pro shaper Ray Shellin, I think his name is. If you haven't seen that channel, I strongly recommend it. He's the king of English wheels and planishing hammers and all this stuff. He's making complete panels from flat metal. And also I enjoy watching Make It Custom. Carl Fisher, I think his name is. He's also Canadian, and his channel's name is Make It Custom with K, K-U-S-T-O-M, and instead of C. And he's also very good with metal shaping. His videos are not only informative, but they're also very entertaining and interesting to watch. He's a really nice guy, probably 30 something years old, but he has lots of experience. I'm surprised that he learned so many things at his age. So these two channels only explained how to weld properly, and they both said weld it, tack it, planish it, then weld it again, and don't be surprised if it warps. It's gonna warp. Just grind it and planish it and grind it and planish it again. And you see, the results are there. Anyways, one side done, one more to go. But the other one we're gonna do in the next video, because again, this one became too long. I didn't realize I had so much footage for this video, and I didn't record an ending for it, so I'm recording it now in my office as I'm editing. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for commenting and subscribing. Check those two channels, Ray Shelley's Pro Shaper and Make It Custom. I'm pretty sure most of you know about Fitties Fabrications too. These three channels are really informative, and I learned a lot from them. I'm gonna put links in the description below. I'm also gonna put a link to my Patreon page as usual, so if you wish to say thank you, Elin, for your videos, that's a way to do it. But you don't need to in order to watch all my videos, they are all free. Just in case you feel like donating a little bit, you can become a Patreon, or you can send me a PayPal transfer to my email address, which is elin.yakov@rustybeauties.com. So once again, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting and subscribing, and for supporting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.